Well, it is Friday, and so it's time to talk Bills, who are getting set for a matchup with the Dolphins down in South Florida this Sunday. Already, this kind of has the makings of a pretty important game, even though it's just week 2. The Dolphins were the only AFC East team to get into the win column last week. The Bills, of course, looking to right the ship after that disappointing showing against the Steelers at home. This is where they'll be playing. Pretty cool shot there. Fans don't want to have to worry too much. If you start 0-2, there's going to be some panic around here. Let's talk right now live with Vic Carucci, our Bills insider here at Channel 2. You see him weekly on Sports Talk Live, and he's an NFL host for SiriusXM. Vic, good to see you as always.
Great to see you, Michael, as well.
All right, so we were just talking there. It's only the second game of the season, but it just feels like a really important one, right? Because you had that loss last week. You know, it's a division game. Those are always important. What should we be looking for and the key to making sure that we don't start at 0-2?
Okay, so I got to give you the disclaimer. Seasons are not lost or made in week 2. Okay, that's the disclaimer. Now, here's the reality. If the Bills lose this game, there's going to be a lot of panic, and it won't just be among fans. I think within the team, there will be that sense of what the heck is going on. And look, the numbers, you just broke it down. They're 0-1, but they're also 0-1 in the AFC. The Dolphins, if they were to win Sunday, would be 2-0 and 2-0 in their division. And now we're getting into the math that we all do relative to playoffs, home field, etc. So very important from that standpoint to at least get a win, not only in just in the general win column, but in the AFC/AFC East columns.
So look, we all heard the overreaction theater on talk radio this week. A lot of us were doing it at the water cooler as well. You know, some people crazy talking about putting Mitch Trubisky in at quarterback, not happening. Josh didn't have that bad of a game. It wasn't great. But what are you looking for? I feel like he's going to have a lot of, he's going to take it onto himself to absorb a lot of the pressure and really, I think, try to come out and put on a show.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. And the talk of benching him is silly talk. It's just silly talk. Mm-hmm. He's the starting quarterback. He's the franchise. Nothing is affecting that short of an injury. But in terms of his playing and rebounding, I think he will do just that. I don't know that he's going to put together one of the games of the many that he had last year that made him number 2, a runner-up for MVP consideration. But I do think that he will show improvement just in terms of getting himself under control. He talked about nerves and jitters. That might have been overstated on his part. I think the Steelers' defense had a lot more to do with his problems than Josh Allen's psyche, but I think it'll help that he's not playing at home in front of a raucous home opening crowd and all that electricity. There are still a fair number of Bills fans who will be at Hard Rock Stadium. We know that, right? They travel well, and they especially travel well to Florida. But I do think that he settles down a bit and can, you know, in terms of his focus, will be dialed in to improve himself, improve what he did last Sunday.
Yeah, you talked about the Steelers defense there. If you look at the Bills defense, they did a pretty decent job against the Steelers last week. Most people would say that probably a better offense than we're going to face in Miami. Do you see it going similarly against the Fins down this weekend?
Yeah, I think this defense actually played a decent game in the opener. You don't give it credit for that. And yes, the second half was rough. And I saw it as like one collective effort of kind of going down the drain, led by the offense. You saw the special teams break down as well. But the defense was mostly solid. And I think they will do a respectable job, if not better than that, against a Miami offense that has an issue or two of its own. And the starting quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, is a guy still trying to find himself, seeking advice from Dan Marino, the Hall of Famer, who told him, who works for the organization now, who told him, hey, just find your open guy and let it rip. That, to me, is the advice you're giving a guy who you're not sure of his confidence level. And those have been those questions for Tua. And I think the Bills are looking for their number one goal, which is take the ball away. Michael, I expect that to happen Sunday.
Hey, Vic, what was your prediction on the show this week?
My prediction was a 27-21 Bills victory, which would indicate to you that I'm not seeing it as any kind of cakewalk or easy, but I do think they'll have more offense than they had the 16 points in game one. They have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Vic Carucci, thanks so much for your time. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
All right, you too, Michael.
All right, hope you have a great weekend at home as well. Our text line number is 716-849-2220.